activation.
I had a full-on breakdown.
Now, can you also testify of a time when you set your mind on the things of God, the things of the Spirit, and it led you, or the consequences or the byproducts of that were life and peace? Oh, wait. That don't sound like a lot of people trying.
Yeah.
Because when I tell you this is a daily practice, this has to be a daily. If it's not a daily practice and a daily.
Bridge the gap between mental health and the body of Christ.
I feel like B Storm might have. Oh, you got your hand raised. After her, I feel like B Storm got a thought to that. You go first.
Hey y'all. I really think that, especially in the African American community, everything is what happens in house stays in house. Everything is very quiet and it's pushed under the rug. And then you go to church on Sunday and it's praise God and it's we're gonna work through this, and you never really touch the things that are truly bothering you. And then that creates shame. And then in that shame, you have more and more secrets, and secrets make people sick. I know that from personal experience because I ended up in Emory for 3 days thinking I was having a stroke, diagnosed with psychosomatic disorder because I was carrying stress, because I was ashamed of what I was going through, and I didn't share it. And this is supposed to be our safe place. This is supposed to be the place where you cast out your burdens. You're supposed to be able to lay things down here, because sometimes you can't do it out there. But it's also traditionally been a place where mental health, just don't worry about it. You be all right, just smile more. You see those mental health commercials and they say, why don't you smile more? And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, that's my parents, that's my family, that's my people that I knew as a child. And so there needs to be a connection between true healing inside the church with mental health and no shame.
Hey y'all, so I am headed home from church. Church was pretty freaking awesome, I have to say. I wore my Happy Lifestyle shirt. Shout out to Sky Blue, who is one of our youth in the church, and this is his clothing line. So yeah, so I wore my shirt today. And funny thing is, probably about 4 or 5 other members, we all have different variations of this white shirt. We all happen to wear our shirts today. Now, Pastor and his wife had on theirs, and they were kind of matchy-matchy. But then there was a couple others of us that had on our shirts just by coincidence. I don't think they talked about it or whatever. It just was like, oh, we got our shirts on, repping the brand. So that was dope. But yeah, we talked about mind over matter. Basically, mental health and dealing with mental health inside of ministry. Dealing with mental health inside of the church. Talking about the fact that in the black community, they don't talk about mental health. They definitely don't talk about it in the church. It's kind of shied away from. So my part, the question was asked, is there a fine line between mental health and a demonic spirit? Like, what's the difference? And my thing was, what I said basically was, the reason why there are so many issues, I believe, in dealing with mental health in the church is because it's not dealt with. It's not talked about. It's pushed under the rug. And secrets keeps people sick. Secrets keep people sick. I can't get it out. And we come to church and we praise the Lord and we ask God to heal us and this and the other, but we never really truly get to the root of what is. We talk about the fact, oh, we have problems. We generalize a lot, but we don't get to the nitty gritty and the muck of what is truly going on in our spirit. And a lot of that comes from shame. comes from not wanting to be judged, just a church hurt, just a lot of things. And that in turn can really make people sick, because you come to church, you praising the Lord, you smiling, you clapping, you laughing. Sometimes you might cry a little bit, you shout, but then you go back out into the world and you still have all the issues that are weighing you down on you, and you haven't really dealt with them. And then somebody was also talking about the fact that you can either be suffering from depression or you can deal with depression. I have done both. I have suffered and now I am dealing. I believe that for the most part, I have overcome my depression and I have a handle on things. I could say that today, tomorrow may be different, but it's a constant work in progress. I am a constant, I look at my life as being a constant work in progress. I'm still healing. I don't believe anybody is fully, quote unquote, healed. I believe you can heal from a situation, but there's always going to be something new that you're going to be consistently healing from. I believe in the span of our lives, as we are existing, we are constantly healing. Just like we're constantly evolving and changing, you're constantly healing. Because once you heal from one thing, then there's something else. And that's just the way that life works. It comes in seasons. But I think within the church, a lot of times, people hide behind ideology. They hide behind what is, quote unquote, proper, what is okay to talk about within church. So a lot of people were coming out talking about how they dealt with childhood trauma and things started at home, and that caused them to do some of the things that they did later in life because of trauma, because of lack of understanding of self, because of lack of understanding of their parents, just a lot of different things. So a lot of stuff came out today, and it was very cathartic, and I believe that it's the beginning of something amazing. And somebody asked me, how did I feel? And I said, I'm terrified, but I feel like this is the beginning of something. This whole year, I have been trying to find a way to share my story and not to vilify the other person, but to share my experience so that somebody else doesn't go through the same. I just believe that the things that I went through were not in vain. I'm supposed to share. I'm supposed to help somebody else get through their pain by sharing the pain that I went through. So very, very, really good service, really good word, a lot of tears, a lot of laughter, a lot of breakthroughs, I believe, happened today inside of Free Life and will continue to happen, because I believe today we didn't see each other as church members. We saw each other as human beings that feel and hurt and go through things. And we saw each other as not pastor and congregation or somebody on the pulpit and everybody else here. I believe we were all on the same playing field, and we all want the same goal: to be better, do better, get better. And you can't do that unless you talk about stuff and get it out there in the open. And like I said, that goes back to what I said: secrets keep people sick. When you keep things inside of you, and I say that because I lived it. 2018, I believe. Yeah, 2018. I ended up in the hospital May of that year, I believe. Yeah, May or June of that year. I went to work, normal day. I felt a little tired, but I kind of brushed it off. All of a sudden, I started slurring my words. I couldn't get my words together. The left side of my mouth started to cramp and hurt. My jaw, my everything. It was like something was attacking me. And I just knew that I was having a stroke because I'm diabetic. So I just knew, okay, your mouth is twisted, this and other. Excuse me, y'all. I stayed up late last night. I just knew that I was having a stroke. Got rushed to the local hospital, and they end up transferring me to the big hospital in Atlanta. I spent 3 days there because I was suffering from what I now know was a breakdown. I had stuffed in so much of what had happened in my marriage and the abuse that I went through. I had just kept tucking it. It's like somebody that's overweight and your pants too tight, but you keep tucking your shirt in your pants, and your shirt keep coming out, so you keep tucking it. And sooner or later, you're going to tuck it to the point where them pants going to bust. Well, when I went to the hospital, that was me just completely overflowing, busting, and just losing it. And I didn't know it. I thought breakdowns was when you break out and you cry and scream and and just lose it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought that was. That's not what that is. A breakdown can be quiet. It can be a silent killer. That's why they say stress is a silent killer. Because it can totally take hold of you. You won't even realize that you stress out. And it will totally take hold of you, take control of your whole life. So I just knew I was having a stroke. They put me in this hospital for 3 days. It was a regular hospital. I wasn't on a hold or nothing like that. They thought that I was having some sort of medical emergency physically. What was happening was that the stress was manifesting physically. So I got diagnosed with something called psychosomatic disorder. It's basically a long medical word for I had a full-on breakdown. I had stuff that stressed down. I had separated from my ex, and had a protective order against him because of what was done. And that protective order wasn't protecting me because he was constantly showing up to my house, calling my phone, having other people call my phone, call my job, and so on and so forth. I was being harassed on the daily. I was being stalked on the daily. Simple, stupid stuff was being done. Like, for instance, I came out one day. My trash cans were always, because we rented a house at the time. Well, I ended up renting a house by myself because he was forcefully removed by the PD. Anyway, I was in the house by myself, me and the kids, and like I would come home, and instead of my trash cans being under the carport, my trash cans would be stacked on top of each other. And then he would do stuff like spray his cologne on them as a way to be like, I was here. He would do stuff like leave notes stuck up under my front door. Like one time he was supposed to pay child support, and he left a child support envelope stuck up under my front door, and he sprayed the whole door with his cologne. His cologne had a very distinct, strong scent. So yeah. Stuff like that, man. To make me be even more mental. And it's like that person had such a hold on me even after we split. Like, basically was trying to make me completely lose it, and almost succeeded. But it was because I had to realize that person was hurt. That person was miserable. That person was going through something. And while, yeah, you are a human being and you are in control of your own actions, I had to take into account that that person never really learned how to care for anybody else but themselves. And I also had to realize that I was very broken when I met that person, and he was very broken. You can't take two broken people and put them together and expect success unless those people are working to be unbroken. And sometimes you can't unbreak yourself. You can't put yourself back together while you're with somebody. You definitely can't put yourself back together through somebody unless it's God. And really, even with God, you have to make the choice to want to be better. It's all about choices. So it was just a lot of healing. But I'm going to get into that more. I know I've been a little long-winded. I've been talking for, oh my God, 12 minutes already. But it's a topic that's near and dear to my heart. If y'all have any comments, please leave them in the comment section down below, because I just believe the things we go through are not for nothing. They are for the healing and the betterment of other people and the betterment of ourselves once we work through them. So please don't be afraid to share. If this touched you, you know, I would love to hear you guys take on things. And I am going to do a sit down video. If you want to know more of the backstory, some of it, I don't share all of it, but some of it, I do have a series on here called Diary of a Survivor. And it's basically my story of how I survived dealing with a narcissist, dealing with an abuser, dealing with someone that couldn't love me because they did not love themselves. And I realized that in hindsight. So anyway, let me drive, y'all. I'm almost home. I'll check in with y'all later. I got a quick question. What if we did our best, not just on Sunday? You know how you go to church on Sunday and you got on your Sunday best and you try to put on your best face and your best attitude and you try to bring the best of you and show up at church? What if you showed up like that every day of the week? Just food for thought. Happy Sunday. Okay, y'all. So I am obviously at home. I'm in my bathroom. I'm getting ready to go in. Don't worry about this. This is my kid's splash toothpaste. Don't worry about that. I'm finna clean it. But I'm finna go in the kitchen and cook and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. So I'm just checking in. Y'all see I changed into my house clothes. I just realized I got a bleach stain on this shirt. I'm so good for getting bleach on black clothes. Luckily, this is a little $3 rainbow shirt, so I can go get more, so it's fine. But I'm about to go in the kitchen and cook, and I'll check in with y'all in just a second. All right, guys, so I'm in my kitchen, and I just finished my live. I don't know what's on my shirt. Probably food. Anyway, I just finished my live. I'm always getting stuff on my shirt. On TikTok. I just kind of expounded on what I was talking about in the car about dealing with mental health and how that affects us and so on and so forth. So basically I fixed my son this right here. Hold on, let me show y'all. I fixed him this. It's some Stouffer's chicken Alfredo. I've never had it before, but he seems to like it, and I'm just glad he's eating. Both my kids are picky eaters, and I made this ravioli for my little one, and I am having this. A salad. Ooh, that salad looks super green. Y'all can't see all the stuff up underneath, but there's spinach, there's tomato, there's a crumbled veggie patty, cucumbers, all sorts of stuff, and I'm gonna have that with a good old bottle of water. So yeah, I'm about to eat that. Right now it is 4:18. It's much later. So I'm gonna just let the kids eat on whatever they're gonna eat on. I'm finna chill and edit and eat my food.